remember this scene? Of course you do. It's a classic. The Spy Who Loved Me, 1977. Roger Moore, as James Bond, is being chased by a helicopter on a winding Sardinian coastal road. He's in a pristine white Lotus Esprit. He runs out of road, flies off a pier, and plunges into the Mediterranean. The helicopter pilot smirks. And then, the wheels retract, fins deploy, and the Lotus turns into a sleek, dry, comfortable submarine. Everyone in the 70s cinema was like, wow. And then, almost immediately, everyone was like, well, it's just a movie. It was the peak of cinematic fantasy. It's impossible. You can't just do that. The pressure, the engine, well, everything. Fast forward 3 decades. In 2008, a Swiss car weirdo, a certified automotive mad scientist named Frank Rinderknecht, apparently watched that movie, pointed at the screen, and said, "Challenge accepted." This is the Rinspeed sQuba. And it's not just a car that floats. It's a car that dives. It's a car that does the one thing the movie car only pretended to do. And once you find out how it does it, your brain might break a little. Because the solution to the impossible problem is more insane than the problem itself. We'll skip the boring Rinspeed company history. All you need to know is that they are famous for making bizarre, one-off concept cars just to see if they can. Now, let's get straight to the facts. Fact 1. It's a Lotus Frankenstein. Yes, as a very direct nod to 007, they based it on a Lotus. Specifically, the lightweight Lotus Elise. This choice wasn't just for a movie reference, it was a critical engineering decision. The Elise is built around a super light, super rigid tub, made of bonded and extruded aluminum. Its body panels are fiberglass. When you're building something that has to not sink like a rock, you start with something that's, well, not a rock. They essentially took that aluminum chassis tub and then threw out absolutely everything else. The body was heavily modified, the interior was gutted, and most importantly, the gasoline engine was ripped out. Because, well, exhaust fumes and water, not a great combo. A combustion engine is a giant, complicated air pump. It needs to inhale massive amounts of oxygen to create fire, and it needs to exhale massive amounts of toxic gas. Underwater, it has neither an intake nor an exhaust. It's a non-starter. This car had to be electric. Fact 2, it has 5 motors. And they're all electric. That's the key. But look at how they're distributed, because this is where the multi-stage propulsion comes in. One motor, in the back, drives the rear wheels for road use. This is your standard, boring, car, part of the equation. It gets you to the lake. 2 propellers, also in the back, flanking the license plate, switch on when it hits the water. You drive the sQuba down a boat ramp, just like you'd launch a small boat. Once it's floating, you hit a switch, and these propellers start to turn, pushing it on the surface. 2 jet drives, up front, hidden in the gills, or side vents, switch on underwater. This is the really clever bit. When you're ready to dive, you start these up. They are powerful, articulating water jets. Think of them as 2 miniature jet ski engines. They pull the car, rather than push it. And by turning them independently, they allow the car to steer. So, that's 1 motor for land, 2 for acting like a boat, and 2 for acting like a submarine. It's a $1.5 million solution to a problem nobody has. Fact 3. It's a convertible. For a very good reason. This is the part that breaks everyone's brain. You might ask, wait, a convertible submarine? That's not just dangerous, it's stupid. Actually, it's genius. In the Bond film, the Lotus was sealed tight. It was a perfect, dry bubble. But that creates a hellish, crushing pressure problem. Water is incredibly heavy. At a depth of just 10 meters, or 33 feet, the pressure of the water, 1 full atmosphere, would be exerting tons of force on every square inch of the car. The windows would implode. The doors wouldn't just be hard to open. They'd be welded shut by the external pressure. You'd be trapped in a coffin. To withstand that, the sQuba would have to be built like a naval destroyer, weighing 50 tons. Rinspeed's solution? Let's not fight the pressure. Let's invite it in. The sQuba intentionally, by design, fills up with water. It sinks because it lets the water in. The cabin floods completely. As you descend, The water comes up over the doors, over the dash, and closes over your head. It's insane, but it works. The pressure inside the car and outside the car is always equal. The car itself isn't fighting the lake, it's becoming part of the lake. Fact 4. You breathe from the car. This, of course, leads to the next logical question. If the cabin is full of water, how do you breathe? You're not holding your breath for a 20-minute drive. This is where the name sQuba comes from. It is literally scuba. The car has 2 built-in, compressed air tanks, hidden in the chassis. Behind the seats, where a roll bar might be, are 2 breathing masks with regulators. The user experience is surreal. You're strapped into your racing seat. The cabin is full of water. You just reach back, grab the mask that comes out of the seat back, put the regulator in your mouth, and keep driving. Or, swimming. You are, quite literally, tethered to your car's life support system. It's a car with a built-in aqualung. And since it's a 2-seater, you can bring a very, very brave friend. Fact 5. The interior has diamonds. Okay, so the interior is now a swimming pool. This creates another cascade of problems. You can't have a normal car interior. There's no leather, it would rot. There's no carpet, it would become a soggy, 1,000-pound mat of algae and mold. There's no wood trim, it would warp and splinter. Everything in the sQuba had to be 100% waterproof. The interior is made of rubber, plastics, and exotic carbon fiber. All the instruments, the speedometer, the depth gauge, are sealed in their own watertight housings, like a diver's watch. The whole thing is designed to be hosed down. But the coolest part is the floor. To keep your feet, which might be in fins or wet shoes, from slipping on the pedals, Rinspeed used a special non-slip coating. This coating is made with tiny, diamond, crystals. No, it's not for luxury. It's not bling. They're industrial-grade crystals used for their extreme grip and durability. It's pure, expensive, over-the-top function. Although, a car with a diamond floor sounds exactly like the kind of thing you'd find in a $1.5 million amphibious toy. Fact 6. It's an eco-submarine. Since it's fully electric, as established in Fact 1, it has 0 emissions. This is important. If you're going to build a car designed to drive around in a beautiful, clear, alpine lake, the last thing you want to do is leave oil slicks and exhaust bubbles. But Rinspeed went further. Any lubricant used in the car, for the steering rack, the wheel bearings, any moving part, is biodegradable. As in, you could probably eat it. Well, you shouldn't, but you get the point. It's designed to be as harmless as possible to the underwater world. It's a leave no trace supercar. Fact 7. It can drive itself, but not how you think. This was 2008. Remember 2008? The very first iPhone was only a year old. Tesla's autopilot was science fiction. But the sQuba had a laser scanner, lidar, system built into its nose. It could, in theory, drive itself in a straight line on land and stop for obstacles. But that wasn't the main reason it was there. The main reason was for the bond exit. Imagine you're surfacing from the lake. You're unhooking your mask. You're treading water next to your floating car. You press a button on your watch, and the car's lasers scan the shore, find the ramp, and it autonomously drives itself onto the beach while you gracefully exit the water. At least, that was the idea. In 2008, this was mind-bendingly futuristic. Fact 8. The wet pants problem. Here's where we hit glorious, hilarious reality. In the movie, Bond drove onto the beach, hit a button, and his Lotus was magically dry. His suit was perfect. He was James Bond. In the sQuba, not so much. Imagine you've just come up from 10 meters deep. You surface. You engage the autonomous beaching sequence, or, more likely, just drive it up the ramp yourself. The car drives onto the shore. You stop. You open the door. And about a ton of water pours out. 1,000 liters of cold lake water, along with algae, maybe a couple of small, confused fish, and a lot of silt, gushes out of your $1.5 million supercar. You then step out, completely, utterly soaked. You are wring out, dripping wet. Your clothes are ruined. You're shivering. Your hair is plastered to your head. It is, without a doubt, the least elegant, least cool exit from a car in human history. Fact 9. It's painfully slow. Don't expect Lotus speeds. All that technology, the 5 motors, the batteries, the scuba tanks, the waterproof everything, is heavy. This car is a brick. On the road, it can barely manage 120 kilometers per hour, about 75 miles per hour. A 2008 Honda Civic could beat it in a drag race. On the water surface, pushed by its two propellers, it tops out at about 6 kilometers per hour, 3.7 miles per hour. That's a brisk walk. You could swim faster. And underwater, this is the real kicker. Pulled by its two jet drives, it has a top speed of a pathetic 3 kilometers per hour, 1.8 miles per hour. You would be overtaken by any novice scuba diver. You'd be overtaken by a motivated goldfish. It is literally the slowest, most complicated, and most expensive way to cross a lake. Fact 10. It's not a car. It's a toy. And this is the main and most important fact. You can't buy it. Rinspeed never intended to sell it. It was a one-off show car that cost a reported $1.5 million to build. The sQuba was never meant to solve a transportation problem. No one needs to drive their car into a lake. Its only purpose was to prove that it could be done. It's a $1.5 million what if built just for the hell of it. It's an answer to a question nobody was asking, except for every kid who ever watched that Bond movie. It's a magnificent engineering triumph and, at the exact same time, the most gloriously impractical thing on the planet. And that's exactly why it's so cool.